The final block to ground zero stretched before Reddz like a no-man's land. Buildings here weren't merely damaged, they were transformed, architecture warped by forces beyond terrestrial understanding. Metal had melted and reformed into impossible shapes, concrete transmuted into crystalline structures that hummed with latent energy. The air itself felt thick, charged particles dancing visibly in the half-light of dusk. Reddz pauses, studying his reflection in a twisted sheet of mirrored glass. The ethereal veins beneath his skin pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat more pronounced now than they had been an hour ago.
What the hell am I now?
The question had haunted him since his transformation. Human seemed too simple a word, yet mutant didn't fit either. Reddz leans against a half-collapsed wall, overwhelmed by the implications.
If this happened to me, how many others? God, are there more people changing like this? Or am I alone in whatever this is?
He looked down at his hands, summoning a small spiral of energy that danced between his fingers. Beautiful and deadly. Power he'd never sought but couldn't deny the thrill of wielding.
Is Reddz Calloway even still in here somewhere?
Resolution firmed within him. He pushed off from the wall and continued toward the crater. Whatever awaited him there couldn't be worse than the uncertainty of remaining in limbo. As he crested a rise created by upthrust pavement, the impact site finally came into full view. The crater wasn't merely a hole in the ground. It was a wound in reality itself. Nearly a half-mile wide, its edges glowed with the same ethereal energy that now coursed through his veins. But it was the activity at the crater's edge that seized Redd's attention. A perimeter had been established. Military vehicles, emergency response units, men and women in hazmat suits taking readings and collecting samples. When their colleagues rushed to assist, the victims began to change before Redd's eyes, skin hardening and cracking, features distorting. Redd's instinct was to retreat, to avoid the conflict below. But as he turned to seek another route, movement caught his eye. A woman and a man, both marked by the same ethereal glow that threaded beneath Redd's skin, though hers manifested as tiny flames dancing over her fingertips, while the man seemed surrounded by a subtle telekinetic field, debris floating unconsciously in his wake.
Hey, easy, I'm not looking for trouble.
You're like us.
I think so, whatever us is now.
We've been calling it the change, but that feels pretty damn inadequate given...
I'm Maya. This is Daniel. We were in Chicago when the impact hit.
Reddz. I was here when it happened. Woke up under half my apartment building and then this started happening.
Same story, different power. I think whatever was in that meteor, it rewrote something in our DNA.
And some of us got lucky, or unlucky, depending on how you look at it.
Have you figured out why? Why us and not others?
That's why we came here, looking for answers.
A scream interrupted their exchange, not of pain but of rage. All three turned to see the scene at the research perimeter devolving into chaos. One man's skin had transformed into something resembling bark, bullets from the security team's weapons splintering harmlessly against his chest.
Jesus, they're going to slaughter those people.
We have to help them.
Why? They'd put us in cages if they could.
Because we can. Because we're not those things from the crater. And we're not mindless mutants.
Fine, but when they turn on us next, don't say I didn't warn you.
The bark-skinned man had grabbed the rear bumper of a military jeep, muscles bulging beneath his wooden exterior as he hoisted the 3-ton vehicle over his head.
Hold your fire. We're on your side.
Behind you!
Can't run if you can't breathe.
Not bad for a stockbroker.
Take the metal one. I've got the energy guy. You're fighting it. Stop fighting and start controlling.
From their ranks, a woman stepped forward. She wore a desert pattern combat uniform with colonel's insignia, the name Arrivera, emblazoned on her chest. Dark hair pulled back in a severe bun accentuated sharp cheekbones and deep-set eyes the color of burnished copper. A thin scar ran from just below her right eye to the corner of her mouth.
What exactly are you?
We're what happens when the meteor's energy doesn't drive you insane or turn you into a monster. We're still human. Mostly.
Bullshit. I saw what you did. Humans can't do that.
Humans couldn't do that yesterday. Today's different. Everything's different.
You might want to get used to it. Because from what we've seen, there are three kinds of people now. Unchanged humans like you, evolved humans like us, and whatever those things are that have lost their humanity entirely.
And where exactly does that leave the rest of us in this new order?
Not at the top of the food chain anymore.
The words hung in the air, uncomfortable but undeniable. Reddz could see the realization dawning on the faces of the human responders, their weapons, their technology, their established power structures suddenly rendered obsolete in the span of a day.
Look, we didn't ask for this either, but it's happening whether any of us want it or not. The question is what we do now.
We need to understand what's happening. That means working together, not shooting at each other.
Rivera considered this for a long moment, her gaze sweeping over the three of them, then to the subdued, transformed individuals, and finally back to her own people.
Colonel Elena Rivera. Until 24 hours ago, I commanded the 5th Special Forces Group. Now I'm apparently commanding whatever the hell this operation is.
We want answers as much as you do, but you need to understand, those mutants, the truly transformed ones, they're operating on pure instinct now. And the ones like us, we're all figuring this out as we go.
There's a shift happening. Power is redistributing itself, literally and figuratively. The old rules don't apply anymore.
So what are the new rules?
That's what we need to find out. Together, preferably. Because I've got a feeling this is just the beginning.
As if in response to her words, another energy discharge erupted from the crater's center, more powerful than before, sending a shockwave across the devastated landscape. Reddz felt the power within him resonate with the crater's energy, a harmony of frequencies that both exhilarated and terrified him.
We don't have much time. Something's changing. Something bigger than all of us.
Then we'd better get moving. I hope to God you three know what you're doing.
We don't, but we're trying to do the right thing.
In my experience, that's usually enough to start with.
The unlikely alliance. 3 evolved humans. A contingent of military and scientific personnel. And 5 subdued, transformed individuals who represented a volatile middle ground. Stood at the edge of cosmic consequence. Behind them lay the ruins of civilization as it had existed. Before them, the glowing crater pulsed like the heartbeat of a new world being born. And around them, unseen but felt by all, the forces that would shape humanity's future gathered strength, waiting for the moment when evolution would complete its work and the true balance of power would finally be revealed.